to set the expectations over here, this is a very basic level of introduction for how to file taxes, especially for those people who might be doing it for the first time. And we will just go through very basic use cases. I know there are cases which get complex, like for example, I work as a IT contractor, so I have different ways of tax planning. Those kind of details we will not take up in this discussion, just to set the expectations. It is just basic, like first time people who are filing taxes for the first time. What do you need to be cognizant about, how you need to do it, how you need to manage your money, things like that. And also to clarify that we have two people who are here to support us. So one is Asadullah. He, mashallah, is a senior manager at Deloitte in the accounting related area, but this is not what he does on a day-to-day basis. He's just here to support the community and just to provide guidance as to whatever he knows. The person who does this on a professional level, though, is our friend who's appearing under the name of Mavish Tivana right now, which is his wife's name, but his own name is Asim Waheed. He does this professionally. So just to set again, this is a very basic level personal tax filing guidance. It is not to do with anything with the more complicated contractors, or if you've got multiple properties or multiple assets and things like that. But if there is interest, and if Asim feels that he can answer those questions, then very well. And after the session today, if you reach out to Asim, it's not a freebie, just to clarify, but he will try to answer as many questions as he can on this.
Unfortunately, I do have to pay the bills, so
yeah, no, that's all understood. And this is what we still want everybody to have, like a basic understanding in the community. And if folks can do it by themselves, then very well. But if you need any help, then of course Asim is there, and Asadullah is just here to support you. He does not even do this professionally or anything otherwise. So having said that, Asadullah, I'll give you the opportunity to start off by a little bit about your own adventure as to how, when you came here to Canada, what did you do? You were telling me the story. So maybe we can start from there just to set the context. Yeah.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well and staying at home as much as possible. So with regards to taxes, so when the first thing everyone should know is that in your first year of filing tax, everyone should file tax, irrespective of they have any income or not, because that's how CRA tracks your presence in Canada. It will be helpful when you are filing for your PR renewal and for your passport later on, because I was asked that question to submit your tax returns. So that is one thing. First year is always paper filing, and you can do Studio Tax or any of the software and fill it in, and then take a printout of that and then submit that with CRA. So with regards to my experience, when I moved to Canada back in 2011, I connected with a person who professionally do the taxes. I asked him to do my taxes, and I even asked him to please submit my paper tax return to the at the Service Canada office. I was not even confident to go and do that. So that's, which is all like stuff that you can easily do. So in the second year, what I did, one of my colleague in my office, he said he got the paper form and the guide of the tax return, and I did all the paper filing. I did by pen. I filled out the form and submitted it. And one thing to note is, if for some reason there is some mistake in your tax filing, tax authorities, CRAs will get back to you and say you had made these mistakes, and they'll adjust it. And so there's nothing to worry, because when I filed my second year tax return, that was a paper copy. I filled it out all by pen, and there was some mistakes. So only one thing to note there is, whenever you're filing a tax and you're not sure about your figures that you're putting in there, and if you're getting any refund, don't use that refund money, because if there's an error, you might be asked to pay that money back, which happened to me in my second year. I had to pay maybe $1,000 back to CRA with interest. So just be cautious of that. Another thing I want to touch base is the childcare benefit, which we get now, whoever have children, is tax-free. So you don't need to include that in your tax income. You can always create your account at CRA. You can file or net file or e-file in the first year, but second year onwards, you can always file and do your e-filing, and it's always convenient. And you can look at all your if you're at a job, you have your T4s and stuff. You can see the T4s on the CRA website before it. As the company that you're working with releases those T4, those are available at the CRA website as well. So I would always advise to create your CRA accounts. There are various softwares, StudioText, third year onwards till now. I've been using StudioText, and it's quite convenient. On your T4, there are various boxes. Each box have a number, 11, 12, 15, and it's the same. So the 11 number means in your tax return, be it StudioText or any other tax software that you are using to file the tax, that amount, whatever is in number 11, would go into number 11. So StudioText has a tab for optimizing as well. If you're paying any charity or various other allowable expense, it will always allow you to optimize your tax refund. So, and the other key thing is any figure that you're putting in your tax return, make sure you have a supporting document for that. CRA can always come back and ask for those details. So with this, I will move on to, I'll pass on to Brother Asim, as he's more experienced, I would say, and can take us into depth of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Assad. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well, keeping safe. So I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I've recently moved to Canada. It's been a year and a half. This is my second tax season here, but I've done tax practice in the past a lot in England, and I did 2 tax seasons in the US as well when I was doing my CPA there. So I have some knowledge of tax. Starting with individual taxes, personal taxes, what you call, be it individual, be it married, you with wife, and it's called a T1 return. T1 return, you can enter your T4s. T4 is whatever you earn income from employment. T4A, if your wife, like my wife, is going to college and she just got a bursary or a scholarship award of $4,000. Now that, even though it was not transferred to us, it wasn't paid out to her, it didn't come into her account, but that's taxable income because she will not have to pay that $4,000 in her student loans. So a T4A, even if you do not receive money, it's annuities, scholarships, bursaries, it's taxable income, 100% taxable. Then the things I'm going to point out that you need for personal taxation, if you're a family and you have a student, your wife or any other dependent, is a T4 from employment, a T4A. There's a form called a T2202A, which is, you get it from your college or university, whatever fees you've paid for the year. That's a deduction for you, for your income. It brings your tax lower. T22OA. Other than that, there's a T5 that also goes on your T1 return. A T5 is any investment income. If you do a lot of stock trading, if you just have, an X amount of money in your savings account on compound interest, that's taxable income as well. The first year that you land in Canada, it's advisable to do a paper file. The reason for that being because there's a form, T4405, which gives the CRA all the information that they need to calculate your GST, HST rebate for the year, any Trillium benefits from Ontario government, and the most importantly, it gives them the complete information of your income from back home as well. I'll give you, for instance, I landed in Canada in December, 27th of December, 2018. I filed taxes for the 4 years of 2018 that I was here. I did that. I obviously didn't have any income in Canada. I only put the income that I had in Pakistan, which converted to Canada was less than $30,000 or close to 30,000. That helped us in a way. It gave us a very good GST rebate as a family, which was obviously helpful during the year as well. And it gives information about your children. So it sets your CBB. The day you land, you start getting Canada Child Benefit for all children that you have under the age of 18. So that is the reason why the first year is supposed to be paper filing, and then second year onwards, you can start doing e-filing. Other than that, that's pretty much the gist of individual T1 filings. T2 filing is for sole proprietors. It's self-employed, like Sadbhai said. If you're working as a contractor, I've done a couple of contracts. I did a contract with TD. So this year, I am going to be doing a T2 return as well. And if you need details on that,
that's a little bit of a complicated discussion. So
that is,
yeah. So because then that's tax planning and stuff like that. So let's. Asad bhai, you wanted to say something?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay. So with having said that part, let's just get into this first question that came up from Ali Malik,
yeah.
and he's asking that please do give an intro of the tax softwares. Which ones are the user friendly? Is free version enough or paid version is required?
Okay, I'll be very honest. I've never actually used any of the free versions. Netfile, there's TurboTax, there's Simple Tax, there's Studio Tax, like I said. These four are the most commonly used, I would say. I use the professional version, which is Netfile. So oh, sorry, not that right, Profile.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one of the most commonly used softwares professionally in Canada. I've worked with the two different tax firms here, and the H&R Block and ProTax Canada, and they were both using Profile. So that is one of the best softwares out there if you're willing to pay a little bit.
My thought on that is like definitely what Asim said is right as well. I've been using Studio Tax since 2013 onwards, and it's a free version. It has a wizard in it. It makes you follow through each and every step based on what options you have selected. It asks you all the questions. So if someone is willing, if just wants to use a free version, that's, I think, Studio Text. That's my experience. I've had no issues with that.
Yeah, and one more feature that these softwares have, like Asad bhai pointed out earlier, even if you have not received, like for example, students, I know because I've done taxes for a lot of students, they're working 3 jobs, 4 different jobs in a tax year, right? And they're obviously not staying in one place as well. They could move 2 or even 3 times during the year. So whatever address that you give to your previous employer, he will obviously send the T4 to that address. You might not receive it, in that situation. All the T4s, everywhere that you work, your T5, all the investment income, if you're working, you're banking with TD or RBC and you're using different things, they will send a T5 to you, and they will send a T5 directly to the CRA on your behalf. So even though you've not received some T4 or T5, but you think that you did have that income during the year, please always go on your CRA account, My CRA, and you can actually check what all slips, T4s, T4As, or T5s, the CRA received on your behalf. You can actually log into your own CRA, go to My CRA, and you can check whatever your information is available with the CRA. You might not have some information about your